I'm going to give you, if I may, and then I'll tell you a little bit about where EllisDon is going, 8 thoughts about this whole topic. They're not necessarily connected. It's not a coherent strategy. It's what's in my brain. And if you don't agree with them, that's terrific. We can have some great discussions. As I said, there are people on our digital team who don't agree with them. That's what makes EllisDon such a fun place to work. The first is that I do believe that the whole edge builder failed experiment that we did 25 years ago was built on a solid proposition. And that is that if you are in the construction management business, in the project management business, and you don't control your own project management software, then maybe you've lost control of your business. And maybe before long, you'll have lost control of your entire company. That's what I believe. Secondly, and as I said a minute ago, we general contractors like to think we're in the building business, right? I've often argued with our people that we're not. We're in the people business, and I'll come back to that in a second. But mostly, I think we're in the risk management business, the more I thought about it. And I've looked at a lot of other industries, and if you're in the construction business in this room, congratulate yourself, because I don't think anybody is better at risk management than our industry. We manage our own risk, but very importantly, we manage our clients' risk. That's what they count on us to do. And if you're developing a digital strategy, I think it's important to think about why your clients hire you in the first place. That's my second point. The third point's important, and not everybody in the room will agree with me or like it, but our industry, the general contractors and the subcontractors, we're the ones that create the data that everybody so desperately wants. And data will disrupt us. If it's not about the data, as Mark said, if it's about which data, and in my humble view, who better to build and curate the best construction software than the best builders in the industry? And let me just say on behalf of EllisDon, if you want to share what you've got with us, and I've had this conversation with my friends at PCL, positive conversation. If you want to share what you've got with us, we'll share what we've got with you. Because down the road, I don't believe it's happening yet, machine learning may teach us. But in the next few years, we're going to have to teach machine learning. Fourth point, most of the analytic software I've seen out there today, including today, is about making the construction process on the site more efficient. And I think that's terrific. But I think there's a lot more to it than that. Because I think that by the time the shovel hits the dirt, I guess that the success or failure of that project is already 70% determined by what happened before. It's not just about the construction processes, even the pre-planning construction processes. It's also about the values and the intellect of the people running them, and it always will be. We build EllisDon not just on the resumes of our people, but on their values. We call it the no jackass rule. Actually, we call it the no asshole rule. You're construction people, you can take it. But in my view, if you can predict that, then you're halfway home. I don't see people talking about that. Fifth point, maybe not as important, investment capital. In my humble view, I hope there's investment capital people in the room. Always happy to chat with you folks. Very important to the process. I don't think it's the issue. I think if we get our software and our digital approach right, the capital is coming to our industry now. They have discovered or in the process of discovering our industry. It's not necessarily the case of the best ideas looking for capital. Right now, there's a lot of capital out there looking for the best ideas so they don't miss out. There's money out there, that's my point. Number 6, digital will not just disrupt the way we build. I believe it will demolish the structure of the construction industry that has existed for at least the last 75 years. And I know the organizer said, Geoff, be positive and talk about that. Everybody likes softer words. Uber didn't disrupt the taxi industry. It demolished it. And maybe that's not a bad thing. The structure, everything about our industry is Mike pointed out, and I'll come back to, it's not exactly like we've been a showcase for productivity improvement. But let's at least face facts, and that's the war that I mentioned in my opening comments. 7, and Mike mentioned this, sustainability will do exactly the same thing. There are two forces that are going to, okay, I'll say disrupt, or I'll say reorganize, but completely change our industry. One is digital, the other is sustainability, and they're obviously deeply entwined. That's for another speech. But with these two seismic forces tearing apart what has existed for so long, there is great peril. There is also great opportunity. That's why we're here. Only if the companies like mine, like PCL, like others, completely transform ourselves. Otherwise, we won't be here very long. My 8th point, my last point, and maybe the most important, is that nobody has a clue what's coming. I was amazed, we were all amazed by ChatGPT. But what amazed me mainly was how stunned Google was when it came out. Now, of course, they've raced to catch up, right? But when it came out, they went, whoa, dude, wow. Right? We all thought that AI, at least I did, I'd done all my reading, was about bringing the cost of prediction to zero, and ChatGPT changes everything so much that Geoffrey Hinton, who you've probably heard of, he's the great Canadian genius father of AI, who just came back to Canada, resigned his position at Google because he believes that the machines are going to take over. And if anybody would know. So all I'm saying is, let's go easy on making predictions. Fast, fluid, and flexible, I'll say it in a minute. That's the end of my comments. So here's what EllisDon is doing. We are determined, I'll say to you now, we have not yet, turn EllisDon into a software company. We are also, of course, determined to be a terrific construction company, close to the ground, taking on the biggest challenges, taking the biggest entrepreneurial risks, controlling risk for our clients. We believe that if we can combine those two attributes, those two great functions, and if we can embrace the truth that we have no idea what's going to happen next, then we can build a great digital and digitized construction operation that can help create the future structure of our industry rather than just react to it.